to get it on these youngins talking like they knowin' something. Recognize that I've been through it, time to run it, let's get to it.
You right, you always wrong. Fourth quarter going strong. You just be talking, you ain't on. Like the verses in my songs, I'm going in.
It's a good question, man. Yeah. So if you look at my audience, right, it's about 75% women, 25% men. And I coach more women than men. Now, people might ask, why is that though, right? So you got to think about it like this. Women have always been taught that they can have a way to express themselves, right? And so they don't mind asking for help. You can't even get a man to ask for directions half the time, right? Because we've been taught to be prideful. But here's what I will tell you though, is I get a lot more men in private.
Right.
Okay. So women will do a lot more. Women will do a lot more in public, right? So they might comment more. They might even reach out for coaching more. But a lot of men, they'll send me a question in DM, and a lot of times with men, I won't even like push back too hard on. I just want to hear what they got to say, right?
For sure.
And I just want to hear them talk.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I learned. I know so much more about how men feel about relationships now.
Right.
And that's why I be riding for men on my platform, because I want women to understand. You asking me all these questions, but the men telling you, you just don't want to listen.
Yes.
Right. You don't want to listen to what they're telling you.
Right.
And so I really ride for men a lot. But men will ask. The unfortunate thing is this: men will ask a lot of times when it's too late. So they about to lose their woman. They about to lose their wife. And so now they like, hey, help me save it. And I'm like, man, but you should just holler at me like, now you done ruined. You know what I mean? So, and you can try to help, but you know, but men will talk. I think people got to stop thinking that men don't talk. It's just we not as loud.
Yeah.
That's it. And if you ever look at social media, if you ever watch like a post that asks for opinions from men start talking. What happened? Women jump right in, right? And so what men do is, I ain't going back and forth with you. I'm just gonna let you have the platform.
That's right.
And so men will talk if women just give them the space to talk. And I'm not blaming women. I'm just telling you right now, like they just gotta sit and listen, right? You just gotta listen. You know what I mean? Because men want to tell you, but you gotta want to listen.
Gotta want to listen. Hey man, that's listen. That's red. Listen, man. Woo! Hey.
He on it, boy.
Okay, so you talk about like being the one.
Being
the one. That hit me off. I like that. That was really good. Being the one. And I think a lot of ladies, this for you. Ladies, being the one. Listen to this young man. Listen, once again, you gotta read this book. It's for you. It's for everybody. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Let's get into it.
Yeah, being the one.
So that's probably my favorite chapter of the book. Right? It's not about finding the one. It's about being the one. And I think a lot of that though starts with: do you study? Do you even look at the person you're trying to attract? Right? Do you even care to know what they think, how they feel, any of that stuff? And then people will say, "Well, I don't have to change myself." And I'm like, "No, but you have to sacrifice." Right? You do that. If I want to create a product, right? I gotta understand what the audience wants,
right?
Or what the consumer wants, in order to say, you know what, I need to probably adjust a few of these things. You know what I mean? Now, when it comes back to the personal part of being the one, like, are you where you need to be, right? Or are you just expecting him or her or whatever to elevate you, right? Are you financially sound? Are you spiritually sound? Are you mentally, emotionally? We're all growing, but are you doing those things? Are you actively working on them? Right? Or are you expecting somebody to just buy into your potential all the time? You see what I mean? So to me, being the one, like, you got to be working on yourself. Right. You got to be working on yourself, and then you find a partner that you can go into it with.
What would the steps be to preparing yourself to be the one? You get what I'm saying? Like, what would you say to start with?
I think it starts with, remember, the most attractive thing for most people is confidence, right? And so how do you build esteem and confidence? You build it through being successful in certain things, right? So if you're not financially where you want to be, how you gonna be confident? You see what I mean? If you're not emotionally where you want to be, you're always gonna be questioning yourself. You're gonna be feeling like insecure and all those kind of things. You're not mentally where you want to be, you're always gonna be doubting yourself. So you got to start doing the work, like doing the personal work. Those are the steps. I call it, one of my mentors always taught me 4-quadrant living, right? He talked about financial, right? He talked about spiritual, he talked about emotional, and then he talked about socially, right? And I was like, you know what? If you can be good in those 4 areas, your confidence level goes to another place. And so now when you're on the scene, you ain't dating out of a place of like lack. Right? You date out of a place of I'm sure of myself, and here's what I can add to your life.
This is my value.
You know what I mean? This is my value, and I expect you to have a certain level of value too. So I'm not selling myself short.
Right.
But I'm not arrogant either. You see what I mean? That's how you go about being the one.
So now, adding on to that, because of my next thing, it goes with that. Starting with 2 healthy people.
Yeah. 2 healthy people. I love. Look, let me tell you. If we can do one thing today, we need to get people to be healthy themselves, so that they can then add value to somebody else. Right. We got too many people trying to save each other. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then we have, you ever heard of trauma bonding?
Yeah.
People out here trauma bonding, like they getting together based off of their trauma, and so that don't make for a healthy relationship, and it really don't make for a healthy raising of another family. Like, you have a kid, now you bring them into it. Yeah, right. You see what I mean? So why not all of us just get healthy, get where we want to be mentally, physically, spiritually? And I'm not saying, here's the thing. When you're young, when you're in your early 20s, you're still on that journey. Right? I'm still on the journey. I'm in my mid-30s. Right? You always on the journey, but are you working towards it? Right. And you can tell when somebody actively working towards something versus when they just looking for somebody to come save them. Right. You see what I mean? So that's what we got. You got 2 different people, 2 healthy people together. Yeah, because I call it a whip. My thing, a work in progress. Work in progress. That's what I say. I said, man, marriage is a whip, relationships are a whip. People got to understand that. We bring the value to each other, and as you say, healthy. And then the thing is that we all have abilities and inabilities. So you kind of weigh those. That's it. You weigh them and say like, hey, but she's got all these abilities, so I can probably deal with that inability over there. That ain't really a major thing. There you go. 80-20, huh? It's 80-20. That's what's up. You know how many people let go of people, man, just because they don't hit every single mark on their little list? And I'm like, man, but what is your list based out of? Right. You see what I mean? And that's where FOMO comes in again, right? It's like, oh, well, they got all these things, but they lacking on this. Well, find you a complementary partner that helps with those kind of things. And then we can be stronger together. Exactly. Core values and deal breakers. Let's talk about it. I'm on it, man. I'm on it. I'll tell you, man. I was on it. I love that, dude. Now, so here's the thing we got to talk about, though, is people look at values and they really look at them as preferences, right? Values are different. Like, values are like, what is your true north? Like, what do you base your life off of? You see what I mean? Your values are things like integrity, right? Ambition, spirituality, things like that. Not, does he have a 6-pack? Right. You see what I mean? Does she have a big butt? Right. Those aren't values, right? Those are just preferences. Right. Indeed. So the question is like, if you want to build a life with someone, you need to understand that y'all believe and think the same way. I hate the term opposites attract. They don't necessarily attract, right? Not when you look at long-term relationships. You look at the data on it, homogamy is what attracts, which is similarities, right? That's what really attracts because you live in the same ways, you think the same kind of thoughts, right? You have the certain class that you want to be in, like you have the same visions. You see what I mean? Like, so to me, you gotta start looking at similarities of values and not like, do they make me have butterflies all the time? The butterflies gonna go away at some point. Right. No, that's real. You know what I mean? Let me be careful not to use the word go away, but they ain't as active. The butterflies ain't as active after a while. So that's kind of where we at, man. Core values, man. Listen, they're important. All right. Strong, independent women. You ready? Yep. Yeah. All right. Are y'all ready? Y'all ready for this conversation? That's big now. And ladies, we as men, we know what we got. But this, listen, we know what we do, but I want you guys to understand. Because this is good also. Let's roll into it. So I wrote that chapter on purpose, man, because I was like, you know what? We got to stop with the, what's the word? Like, the number one thing that women will tell me when they can't find a man is that they intimidate men. And I'm like, is that the truth? How is every woman intimidating every man? Right. I don't necessarily think that's what the case is, right? I think it could be like for some men, but overall, I don't think it's what it is. I think first of all, I want a lot of women to understand this. Like, you having a car and a job and a house and all those things just make you an adult. Like, they don't make you like the first round draft pick, to be my wife. You see what I mean? Sure. They're just an adult. Like, you expect me as a man to just have those things, right? So like that independence thing doesn't necessarily. And I want women to understand too, like, talk about the marketplace, right? What do men value a lot more, right? Nurturing, support, how we feeling your energy, right? Those kind of, not your car, your house, your job, like those are good to have. They are great. I want you to have something, but it doesn't mean I'm intimidated by you because I don't like your attitude. Right? You see what I mean? Like, if I don't like your attitude, that means that maybe you sit in your masculine energy too much, right? And if you sit in your masculine energy too much, now I got to compete with you. And I don't want to compete with you. Why would I marry someone that I got to compete with all the time? To me, that just makes no sense. So it's not. I don't think that men are just intimidated. Certain men are, but I don't think men are just intimidated. I think they don't like the attitude or what they see in the woman. It's a lot of masculine tendencies, and I think sometimes men are like, "Nah, I got too many options now."
Right.
I got too many options. I ain't got to deal with that.
Put up with that. Yeah.
You see what I mean? So I want the takeaway not to be like, "Oh, women are bad," or it's bad to be an individual.
Of course not. Yeah.
But to me, a lot of it is defense mechanisms. It's I saw my mom go through this. And so I decided I'm never going to need a man. Right? Because my mom depended on that man, and look what he did to her. When realistically, that don't have to be the case if you find the right man.
Right.
You see what I mean? And so I think it's a defense mechanism most times to say, I want to make sure I keep that man in his place, let him know I don't need him. And honestly, he don't necessarily want you to need him, but he do want to feel valued.
Gotta want to feel value.
He wants to feel value.
Want to feel value.
That's how men want to feel. Like, I hate when they try to make it sound. I don't need to stroke his ego. No, you probably do. Right? You probably do because that's what makes him feel valued. Just like for you, me complimenting you makes you feel valued. Me buying you things or whatever it might be makes you feel valued, right?
Noticing your nails.
Noticing all the stuff that you went and did all that stuff and I didn't say a word.
Yeah, exactly.
Now you mad.
Right. Now you mad.
Same thing. I want to feel appreciated and valued and all this kind of thing. I don't understand why that's a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing. That's real talk right there.
We made it a bad thing in society because we made it seem like it's weakness. And it's not really weakness. It's understanding your customer. If you understand your customer, then you understand when he come home with a fresh haircut, you need to talk about this haircut.
Yeah, exactly.
I will say though, because my hair can get real wild. My wife always be like, "Hey man, what's up?" I was like, "You don't really have to tell me."
And you be like, I know already.
But it's good.
It feels good.
It feels good. It feels good.
I'll give you another example, man. Like for instance, I'm not a huge yard work person, right? I ain't grow up doing much yard, but I do it now because it's my house, right?
Yeah.
So I go cut the grass. I got that thing looking right now. I'm out there looking at the grass, and my wife come out there like, "Oh, I see you."
Right.
I'm like, "Yeah, you see me." You know what I mean? But some people will be like, "Oh, I should have to stroke his ego." Look, I don't care if you're stroking it or not. It feels good.
It feels good. You want to be acknowledged, man. Listen.
I feel like it's needed in a relationship. You gotta have those things. You got to.
100%.
Because if you really think about it, who else am I getting it from?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Now you are my source of getting fed that I'm doing a good job.
That's
Because
right.
at the core, men just want to know they're doing a good job.
Exactly.
That's it.
That keeps us going. We simple. Yeah,
that's it. We are simple. We are simple. Like, I want to know I'm doing a good job for you.
Exactly.
And just tell me that.
Man, listen, we rolling, man.
How big is giving time and space in a relationship to you?
Oh man, that's a good question, dude. I am a huge believer in space. Number one, it allows someone to have their own identity, right? And so if I'm always up under you and I have no life outside of you, I have no friends, I have nothing. Now you depending on me for everything, and now you become a not a partner, but more of like I become a parent to you.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? And parenthood is not sexy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be your parent. That ain't attractive. You know what I mean? But when it's you my partner, I'm like, oh, man, you go out with your friends? Cool, go out with your friends. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Or you go on a trip with your friends? Bet.
Right.
You ever see how much different you feel when your woman gets back?
Right.
You're like, oh, okay, I missed her.
Right.
Give me some space, right? And people, they need that time for their own identity. They need that time to reflect, to relax too. Without, like, think about it, man. Like, your home, like, when you live together for a long time, your home becomes a spot of responsibility all the time.
Yeah, right.
Like, I gotta clean up, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. You need space from that to become you again.
100%.
So space to me is important. The only reason people don't want to get space is because they don't trust each other. You know what I mean? They don't trust each other enough, and they don't have their own thing going on.
Right.
I would never advise someone to date someone who has no life beyond them. That don't make sense to me.
Man. Mr. Spry, you guys. He on you. He's on all of. I mean, he's on all of us. Let me say.
There you go. There you go.
So
y'all got the questions.
No, we got the questions. So
you
it's more than just sex. It's more than just about sex to men.
Let's talk about it. Hey, this is it right here. This is it.
Oh, he enjoyed himself. Now look at
dude, let me tell you. I wrote a blog one time. It was like something about like 6 reasons why your man wants to have sex all the time, or something like that. You know what I mean? It's one of the most misunderstood things. I feel like God did like a thing on us, right? Because men are way more physical, right? Women are way more mental, emotional, and so a lot of times what men need to do to feel connected is to connect with you physically.
Right.
Right? So men feel connected. It's one of the only places where we can be intimate, right, without a bunch of words. Right? But women, on the other hand, most times they need to feel desired, wanted. They need to feel appreciated. Like they need to have, like, it's all these things that go into sex for women. Right? It's, if you study it, man, like, it's almost like a conundrum. You know, like they need all these things to feel turned on and to feel desirable and all those kind of things, right? And so that comes back to studying each other, right? If you're a man, you need to understand how women operate so you can have better sex with her. She needs to understand how you operate, so sometimes she can just like, you know what, let's just get to it. You see what I mean? Where it don't take 30 minutes to have all this foreplay and all this other kind of stuff, right? So the thing is, for men, man, like, I don't think we just horn dogs. You know, I think women have painted us that way. But sometimes, like, especially when you marry, you've been together for a long period of time, what sex does is says, I'm connected to you and I desire you.
Right.
And a lot of times for men, if I look at the top 3 things that men complain about, it's not feeling appreciated, right? It's not feeling desired. That's the other one. That's the big one. Not feeling desired and not feeling heard. Right? So if you take 2 things, right? You take the heard part, meaning I'm telling you, wife, I'm telling you, girlfriend, this is what I need to feel connected to you, right? And then I don't feel desired by you. I mean, that's a recipe for disaster. I need to feel like you still want me, because now, guess what? I can't go swipe all day, every day and get the validation I was getting. You can call it small-minded or whatever you want to call it, but we need it. We need it. So connectedness is important, dude. Like, sex is important to men. It's very, and I don't even want to call it just sex. Intimacy is important to men too, because I can be vulnerable. Think about you naked. You're in a vulnerable positions. You know, you doing all these things. That's where men are like, oh God, I'm vulnerable, but I'm with the person I love. So let's get it. You know what it is?
No, listen, man, old man.
What are the signs of bad relationships? You know what I'm saying?
Dude,
when it's time to leave.
It's when it's time to leave. And I'm glad you asked that question, because it's so many people that need to leave relationships right now that they just don't like. So number one is lack of reciprocation to me, right? So when you are always giving, you always making deposits, and you never get no withdrawals out. To me, that one-sidedness of relationships it's a recipe for you feeling drained and resentful. And once you start feeling resentful, you're not going to treat the person right anyway. You see what I mean? So that lack of reciprocation is important. Any sign of abuse, any sign of abuse, dude, like mental, emotional, physical, all those things, you start seeing that consistently in a relationship, you got to go, because they don't value you enough to not abuse you. And that ain't never going to be cool. You know what I mean? When 2 people don't want to work towards solutions, when there's a lot of arguing and no solutions, and if no one wants to sacrifice, like say, you know, we on the brink of divorce, but one of y'all don't want to go to counseling. The other nobody wants to go to counseling. Well, what's the point? What are we doing? We just here existing. You see what I mean? So that's another big sign of like you need to get up out of there. And to me, if it's not growing, if it's just like you could be in a relationship for a lifetime and it always be growing. But when it's just stagnant and no one's doing anything to do anything more in the relationship, like y'all not coming closer together, y'all not reading together, y'all not doing anything to make the relationship better. What's the point? Like, you wasting time. You wasting a bunch of time. You know what I mean? So those would be my answers right there.
That's good. That's a good question. So, next question I have.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about the security chapter. Was very informative for me. Okay, this married man of this many years. So I'm like, let's talk about that, because that has a lot to do with men and women, but it has a lot to do with us. So let's talk about that one.
Let's talk through it, man. Like, so think about it, like security. Like the number one like attractor of women to men is status, but really it's undercover status. It's the security that comes with status, right? And so women need to feel secure to give you all of them. You see what I mean? But I think we look at security as like, I gotta be the biggest guy that can beat up everybody. And that's not necessarily what security is all the time. That's a part of it, right? You know, you gotta be willing to sacrifice and, you know, fight for her or whatever it might be. But I mean, let's think about little stuff, right? Do you protect her from your in-laws? Right? Do you let people disrespect her in your family? You see what I mean? Do you create good boundaries with female friends? Do you create boundaries with your family? That makes her feel secure. Like, I am the priority. I am the person that's most important to you in your life, right? Financially, Like let's stop with the it don't matter. It matters. The money matters. Like you ain't never seen a woman turned on by by a broke dude. I mean, she might. That's probably not a great statement, but she might have done some stuff with a broke dude. Yeah. But the reality is, that means security, right? If I gotta worry about what we gonna eat every month, if we gonna be able to pay our rent, and I gotta go out and work, 40 hours, 45 hours a week to do that, that's fine if you want to work. Yeah. But do I have someone else that if I couldn't work can help me out? Right? Do they have my back? You see what I mean? That's important. Another thing is like, I always tell men this too, like when you out with your woman, does she feel like you always gawking at other women? Or right? Does she feel like that?
When I read that, I was just like,
does she feel like she don't have your attention, but you always looking for somebody else? Yeah. You see what I mean? That don't make her feel secure. That make her feel insecure. Right. It's like, dang, I'm not enough for him. No, we all human. You know, I don't looked at a woman before and my wife been like, yeah, she look good. You know what I mean? That's not happening, but it's not like all day I'm doing this, with my head on the swivel kind of thing. So to me, that security is everything, right? And security makes people. I always say, if you give a woman security, she'll move mountains for you, right? She will she will come into that mode. Y'all seen it. I know you've seen it. Where she get into that space where that woman in her, that feminine woman in her, comes out to play. Where it's like, if it's my house was nothing. Look at how it's a home now, right? Because it's secure. It's like it's ours, it's mine. And I know he's gonna take care of it. I know we gonna take care of it together. So like women will. I mean, you give a woman anything, she makes it grow. Yeah. Anything. That's the beauty of women. Yeah. But you got to make her feel secure.
100%. For that to happen. I'm telling you, it hit me when you talk about that first part. I was just like, he talking to me right now. He's screaming at me right now. I was just like, woo.
The boundaries.
You know what I'm saying? I was just like, okay, I feel it. I mean, my wife and I, that's my first love. So we've been together that long. And so it was like, it was hard for me because I didn't know anything else. So I'm still learning. Once again, I'm still learning. And so when I'm telling you, when I read it, I was just like, yeah. Because she'll tell me sometimes. She'll scream it. I'm just like, yo.
Let me tell you a secret, man. Like, when I talk to women about men, a lot of times, one of the probably top 3 complaints is in-law stuff. It's he allows his mom. I got to compete with his mom all the time. He don't like his mom. He let his mom talk to me any kind of way. Right. He do this. I'm like, dang. So what it's telling me is men a lot of times are caught between mom and wife. Right. And not understanding how to navigate that. That's a real thing because your mom is your first love. Right. It's like, I can't say nothing to mom. Mom will always be most important. Nah, she can't be most important. Like, and a lot of moms don't respect that. Yeah. Right? Because they raised you. They birthed you. So they don't even know how to let that thing go. You know what I mean? Yeah. But they gotta let it go. If they respect the woman you with, they gotta be willing to let that go. Yeah. You see what I mean? Yeah. Now you can't be disrespectful, right? But it's gotta be. I've seen the best relationships where the mom and the daughter-in-law are like cool. Yeah. You see what I mean? But when they like this, you put a man in a position where it's like,
you gotta make a choice.
I don't know what to do.
Yeah, that's tough.
How you navigate that?
No, that's real, man. That's real. That was, I'm telling you, but every chapter great, that resonated with me. I was just like, at first I was just like, he getting on these women, man. He's telling them, letting them know, man. As a man, I'm just like, they need to know that. They need to know that. And I was just like, you was like, all right, man. Yeah. Easy. Because it's like, I can hear you.
That was the goal. It was like a conversation.
Then I was like, and I was like, get ready. So, that was beautiful. That was beautiful.
I like that, man. I love it.
That was real. So, all right. Here's another good one. Pseudo relationships. Empowered and valuable people don't take what they get what they want.
You know all about this, I bet. Your generation is like the king and queen of pseudo relationship. Your generation is like, y'all are the situationship kings and queens. It's crazy. It's like a normal thing.
It is normal.
It's a normal thing, right? Yeah. But what I found is both times both people aren't getting what they want out of it. Okay. Most times it's usually the dude getting what he want out of it. Okay. And the woman is saying she cool with it, but she really ain't cool with it. Okay. Like, it's cool with it for like the first 5 minutes in the relationship, and then it's like, I kind of want him. right? Now I'm connected to him. Now I want to be with him. I know I said all I wanted was this.
Yeah.
But I really wanted that, and I thought this was gonna get me to that. But he was like, "Nah, this ain't getting you to that."
Yeah, right.
You see what I mean?
Right.
I've seen this happen so many times. It's like that's probably the top thing I see from women that are dating in their mid-20s, mid-20s to late 20s. That's the situation. It's the situationships. It's the pseudo relationships.
Right.
It's I want more because I'm starting to see that my timeline is ticking. Right. I want more out of life, but I keep getting these pseudo relationships.
Right.
We committed, but we not together. But you can't do nothing else.
Yeah.
Right. It's like we claiming each other, but we not really claiming each other. You see what I mean? But you get mad if I date another guy.
Right.
You get mad if I date another
Right.
girl.
Yeah.
It is the most exhausting if you just think about how exhausting that is.
Yeah.
So what I try to encourage people to do is, it's like what they say, like people who are empowered, people who are confident, who've done all that work, and they realize they have value. They're like, nah, that's not how this is gonna work, right? So I'm gonna tell you from the beginning, this is what I'm looking for. I am looking for a committed relationship. Now, most people don't want to have this conversation.
Yeah.
You want to know why? Because they scared of rejection.
Yeah.
Right.
So they're like, if I tell him this, if I tell her that, she might think I'm thirsty. She might think, she might think that I'm doing too much too fast. Nah, but sure people, right? They'd be like, here's why I'm in my life. I'm at a point in my life where I'm looking to build something with someone. I want some partnership. Right? That's what I'm working towards. I ain't saying that's going to be with you, but that's what I'm working towards right now. Right? That's a clear statement. So now we shouldn't be 6 months in and we talking about what are we. Nah, we should be having conversations along the way. Is this what you're looking for? Is this what you're looking for? And now we together. You know what I mean? But we done made it so hard. Like we made it so hard because we don't want to give up that FOMO.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You youngsters, man.
Hey,
I
that's
blame it on social media.
You youngsters.
but social media does it now.
Yeah, I blame everything on social media.
And I can't lie. I've done that before. I've been in a situationship before. You know what I mean? It ain't the coolest thing, right? It ain't the best thing to be in. But usually the woman gets the short end of the stick because most men. Let's just have a real honest conversation.
I've never been in that one. I just want you to know.
Let me tell you a real honest thing though about men. Men are territorial by nature. Like, if we want you, we want you.
Yeah.
Okay. If we put you in a situation where it's like, I kind of want you, but I don't. You ain't the one.
Yeah, it's for the moment.
Yeah.
You are cool. I like your energy. We can kick it.
Right.
But when I see the woman I don't want nobody else to have her.
Exactly.
Right.
So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be like, nah, I'm serious. I'm locking this down.
That's real. That's real talk there. That's real talk.
That's how we operate. But when you tell women that, they don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
They think because he's saying all the right thing. I'm like, nah, if he wanted you by now, he would have told you.
Because you say, I can't remember which one it is, but I'm going back on. You were like, you see some women get married. You like, how did she get married?
Yeah.
Or how did she get with him when I'm all this?
Yeah. You thought.
But yeah, you thought. But she brings something better to the table that he's looking for, that nurturer, or that whatever.
Yeah, that femininity is usually what it is.
Yeah.
It's usually like you have we done seen it before. You see like a certain caliber of dude, and he with a certain woman that don't really match all the way.
Right.
And
That's what I was getting.
That's what she be thinking. Like, how he get? I bet you out of all the women he dealt with, she make him feel the best.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
He was saying that.
That's all it is. It's not like some magic potion that you had. It just make you feel the best.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Listen, that's the realness.
And here's what I want women to understand too. That don't mean you bad.
Yeah.
You just ain't good for him.
Right.
It don't mean you doing something wrong per se. It just mean that woman in her energy, in her space, he saw where she fits in better than he saw with you. That's 100%. It. That don't mean you wrong.
Yeah. And it's not about the most beautiful. It's not about the most sexy. It's about we like that, but there's certain things that we want and that we appreciate and that we care about.
Oh yeah.
And just. Man, you said a lot.
They just gotta listen, man. We'll tell them the guy.
Yeah.
We done told them. We told them today. But are you willing to listen? Or are you thinking that all men want Instagram models? Right. And that's really what you hear a lot. You hear that a lot. Like, oh, men don't want that shit. They just want Instagram models. So like, but how many times you see them married? Man, Instagram models. How many times you see?
You don't want all them problems, man.
You know what come with that?
Exactly.
They might deal with them now.
One of my homeboys said this. I'll never forget it. I didn't agree with him, but he said this. He said, man, I'd rather have 2 5s than a 10.
Hey,
he's like, because it's not, I don't have to deal with all those problems.
Yes, sir.
I was just like, man, you're a wild boy. But I got what he was saying.
That's the truth though.
Yeah.
But so let's low key though. Let's talk about how it happens on the other side too. A lot of women don't necessarily want like they say they want top notch guys.
Yeah.
But they don't really want that.
Right.
Because they gotta compete.
You gotta compete, right?
You gotta compete with a dude on that level.
Yeah, 100%.
Dude got his money together, got his life together, he's attractive.
Yeah.
You know, and he's highly desirable by women.
Yeah.
You got it.
It's
a competition.
It's a competition. They don't want that competition. He's been competing our whole life. Right? So like men be like, okay, I'm gonna have to compete for this one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Women be like, nah, I don't want to have to compete with all these girls. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So you see mismatched relationships on both sides.
Right.
Because of reasons like that.
That's real, man.
For sure.
So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, hold on. Let me pull it up again.
Get the book right.
Teach me how to love. Why what you don't know will hurt you. I gotta say it like that because it's meaningful, man. And it's by Mr. Troy Spry. What a great author. What a great individual. What a great father and husband and son and all those things. Look at it.
That's it.
That's it right there.
I was a little skinny.
Got the blaze with it.
Smile on that there right there, boy.
Yeah, what is that? That red, it symbolizes something, though.
That's the noops, baby.
That's the new.
You already know what time it is.
Listen, I didn't go to college and nothing like that, but I'm gonna tell you one thing. That's what I would have did.
Hey, you would have been a good one.
Because I'm like this.
Don't write that
No.
Hey, you would have been a good one.
You want to know what I tell people?
What's that?
I'm so pretty, I'm jealous of myself.
Don't follow that garbage.
That's the man right there.
But ladies and gentlemen, seriously, this is the Going In
Podcast
with Lord Nelson and
Jay Parker
and Mr. Troy Spry, our first official guest. And once again, the book is Teach Me How to Love. You guys really, I don't care if you're man or woman, white, black, big, small, short or tall, the love is here for every single one of you. So peep this out. Check it out. Hit him up. But what's your hit him up.
You hit me up, man. Hey, first of all, thank y'all for having me.
Thank you.
How much I appreciate it, man. I admire y'all's relationship. Love what y'all doing on the Going In podcast, man. So you can reach me exclusivethoughts.com. That's XKLUSIVE thoughts.com, and you can find me anywhere else when you go there. But for all of y'all who want to take it the easy way, you can follow me on Instagram at exclusive5. That's XKLUSIVE, the number 5. Holla at your boy.
Yes, indeed, man. Listen, that 5, because starting 5, you got to be 5 royals.
Starting
5 used to be, but 5 royals. Hey, man, it's all
fives,
love,
baby.
It's all
I love the 5.
So once again, thank you guys. It's the Going In podcast, and we really appreciate you guys. Much love to you.
All right,
peace.